take a look at all my boast is in Jesus. So play this in the key of G, no capo, everything's nice and easy. I'll say at the beginning here, a lot of the shapes I'm using, I'm trying to mute as much as possible. Like this type of D that I often use, I don't use it in this song. I use a D sus, and I use my middle finger here to mute the E and A string. Part of the reason is there's just so much, it's so fast, and you have a lot happening with the bass and the drums and the piano, and if you have an electric guitar. And so I just try to simplify what's happening on acoustic to not oversaturate the rest of the team. So so my G shape, right? So middle, mute, open, open, ring, pinky. And then my C is mute, middle, mute, open, ring, pinky. And then my D, I showed already, but mute, mute, open, index, ring, pinky. And E minor, open, index, middle, or invert those, either way. Open, ring, pinky. And then we have some other chords, such as D over F sharp. You could play it like this. So it's the same no matter what fingerings you use, right? But let's say middle, open, or muted, probably muted. Open, index, ring, pinky, or you can play it like this or like this. Any of those are okay. So that's one chord inversion we have. And we also have an A minor, which I would play mute, open, middle, open, index, pinky, A minor 7. Okay, that should be enough shapes at least to get us started. So the intro, I usually have the tempo at 183, so to play that for you, it sounds like this. Okay, so I do this little little line, which is in the bass. You don't have to play it, but if you want to. So our typical G, and then we have, you mute the low E string, index, so G over B, C, and then mute the E string and the A string with your middle finger, and then open. That's what we want. So index, ring, open, but we want to mute everything else lower. So if I don't mute things lower than that, right, you can't hear that line. So we have, so you have to mute everything lower than this bass line in order to get that to sound. And I would recommend, especially early on in verse 1, keep playing acoustic guitar player, but you know, for the intro, you're playing. But we don't want that same energy carried into verse 1, but we also don't want to kill all of the energy. So play, but play lightly. I guess my tip would be, you can feel quite a bit of the strings in your fingers, even when they are not what's touching the strings. So if you're using a pick. My other tip is stay light. Let the pick be loose. You can hold on to the pick loosely and not have it fly out of your hand. I mean, it takes some practice, but think of the pick not as something that you are holding, but an extension or a tool in your hand. So be loose with the right hand. Don't drop the pick, but let it glide across the strings instead of pulling all of the strings. So if I keep the pick firm, right, and I don't let it move, it's very, very loud, very harsh, very bright. If I hold the pick loosely and let it wobble in my fingers, that's what we want, that tone. And so we can keep the same strumming pattern, but lighten up the tone and texture. Give it some sweetness without killing all of the energy, right? What wonder. We have a C over G. So the way I play this is, think of your typical C shape, right? And I kind of take that and merge it with the G shape. So our G, and then the C over G. Go ring, mute, middle, open, index, pinky. It's like a glorified G sus. What wonder of wonders, what love is this, that Christ would die for me. Okay, so that gets us most of the way through verse 1. This other little line that I play is at the end of each of the verses. Verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. It's a C, and then a D over C, back to a C, back to a D over C. But you hear this line, the work is finished, along with the melody, and you can actually play this. So we have our C, the work. Instead of muting here, the D string, I actually want that. I want that note. So middle, index, open, ring. Mute the low E string. So this is our the work, and then the D over C, right? The C is in the bass for all of these, so this C doesn't move. The work, but my next shape is middle, pinky, index, ring. And if you want this E open, it can be. If you kind of squeeze the neck, you'll probably be muting the high E string, which is totally fine. So this is our next shape, and then the one after that, we go back to this. If you want, you could mute with your index on the D string. So middle, mute, open. So, and then our last one is, excuse me, middle, mute, index, ring. That line at temp, I'll play each one again, so it's a little bit tricky here. And that tempo, though foolish rightly crucified, the work is finished. All my boast is in Jesus, all my hope is His love, and okay, that's the majority of the song. I will point out one other thing. So going from, actually, let's look at the bridge. So, oh, praise the one forever, bless Him, all my heart adores. If you want to play this D somewhere, it's in the bridge. Ring, pinky, middle, open, index, mute. And I will boast in nothing less than the love of Christ my Lord. Okay, there we go. We've looked at the bridge. Okay, one other thing. Coming out of verse 3, we have a no chord leading into the chorus. In plenty or in want. Oh yeah, sometimes I do that. So open, index, open. Okay. In plenty going on, that I may know and all may see His power within. So we have a taka taka taka, and then don't play, and mute the strings, and really lean into those, because we're leading to the no chord. That I may know. I'll turn this on. That I may know, that all may see His power within me. All my boast is in Jesus. All my hope is His love. And if you want, you can do that triplet fill. Otherwise, I would probably just recommend all downstrokes. It's easier to land together as a team when you're not doing like all this extra added fill stuff. I find that for at least for what we have, when you're doing some sort of fill like that, big hits with the full band, if you want to have, you know, a triplet or something extra, probably just have it be one instrument. It might stand out more and not sound so muddy and just jumbled. So either let your drummer do it or you do it as the guitar player, unless you're like totally locked in and you're both gonna nail it every time. Like you should nail it 100 out of 100 times if you're gonna do this crazy cool fill. Otherwise it's just a mess. So coming out of that no chord, all my boast is in Jesus, all my hope is His love. Just make sure everybody's sitting the dum ba ba dum, and I will glory forever in what the cross has done. Now I stand in this freedom. There you go.